Who the heck is that dirty factory man you have there? Don't you dare tell me that man is your fiancé of all people?
What? What are you talking about right now, Margot? By the way, it's getting pretty late now. When are you guys supposed to be arriving at the house again? I told you that I'd be having my fiancé over for you all to meet finally, right? Don't you feel a little bit bad about being this late on such an important day to me?
Shut up and answer the question I just asked you. I saw you looking really close to a man wearing dirty overalls as you both talked to one another. Don't you tell me that that man is the man you plan on marrying someday.
Huh? Wait, does that mean that you just came around the house a second ago? If you were already near here, you should have came up to us.
You think I'd want to let you guys know I was around? I knew it. That man is your fiancé, isn't he? I am not okay with that. If you go marrying some dirty old factory worker, then that embarrassment is going to spread to me and I'll have to be ashamed of you.
Wait, what the hell? Sure, just a second ago he was in overalls, but he doesn't work at any factories.
What? Are you telling me he's some kind of a freelancer or a contractor then? The kind of people that go hopping from one kind of job to another without a care in the world about how much they're paid? Ugh, this cannot be happening. There is no way in hell this can be happening.
Why would you think something like that? Margot, would you please take some breaths and calm down for me? My fiancé isn't a contractor or a freelancer, really. He just happens to have a lot of different things that he's interested in. So, at times, he may seem to know a lot more about some odd things than others. But he'd never get my hand in marriage if he was still hopping from job to job.
No way. Are you sure you're not being used by him right now? I always knew ever since you were a little girl, you were pretty absent-minded about a lot of things. You have to be getting lied to by that man, right? You stop trying to make up excuses for that man and open your eyes.
Would you listen to me? Why do you keep jumping to so many conclusions right now about him? I'm telling you right now that you have everything all wrong. By the way, he came back home a little while ago now. So does that mean you've just been sitting outside my house just watching us?
I had to be sure you weren't being fooled. And the same goes for myself, considering that I'm the wife of a man that relies very much on the image he has in other people's mind. If I had to find out that there was something seriously wrong with your fiancé and you got married to him, then people would start to relate him to my husband, and he'd lose a lot of those people's trust. In other words, if you bring some kind of crazy man into the family, I'll be the one in trouble.
Margot, you've always had some issues from the start, especially that one right there. I thought that when you became an adult, you'd change mentally just a tad bit. But even now, when I'm as old as I am, you are still trying to control my life instead of just worrying about your own.
How about you lay off me and think about your filthy fiancé? I am not the one trying to control you here or anything. But when you think about a pair of scissors, people tend to compare the two of them a lot. And if people start to think I'm not being a good older sister to you, that will change how the world views this family. And that is why I don't need you judging what I'm doing here, as I know that I'm doing the right thing and won't change to cater to you.
You've always been making yourself look like the good guy all this time. But could you stop trying to control my life for once and let me have the future that I've always wanted with the people I love?
I'm not trying to control your life, Alice. I'm just saying these things about you and your fiancé for your sake, right? And if you don't marry a man that can pull in a decent amount of money for you, you're going to have a very rough future with him, and that worries me. If you don't have the money you need, you guys won't be able to support having any kids either, right?
And I very much understand that, Margot. But if this is just you trying to control my life like you've always been doing by speaking out against my actions, then you're wasting your time. I'm not gonna listen to what you have to say about the man I've chosen, and I will get married to him no matter what.
Wow, so you really want to rebel against me then, huh? You must have forgotten about all of those times I've helped you out when you were getting yourself into trouble. I really do hate kids like you.
I'm not a kid anymore, though. I've become an adult, and I like to think I'm a pretty good one at that. I have a job that I've been working diligently for some time now, so it seems like the only one who's still treating me like a child these days is you, and you seem to still not be able to trust me and my choices. If that weren't the case, then you wouldn't have been sitting outside my house for hours now watching me.
But look here, this is the reality of your situation. When I wasn't looking closely at you, you started to go out with some contractor. And now you're acting like you can marry him no matter what I have to say about it. I get that you aren't a kid anymore, Alice, but look! I don't have any gifts to give to a poor couple that want to waste away in hell after getting married.
I told you to stop labeling my fiancé as some kind of a moneyless man. Also, you need to stop acting like you're only thinking about me here, because you aren't. You always say that when in reality the only person you're thinking about is yourself.
What are you talking about?
In the past, you would have never forgave me whenever I stood out over you, right? Whenever I ended up getting really good scores in school, you'd take my report card and tear it up before Mom and Dad got home to see it. And whenever I got any bad scores, you'd take my report card and run home with it to show them right away. I know about all those things you've been doing to me and why you were doing them.
Oh, things like that did happen, didn't they? I mean, seeing you get all excited over having some alright scores in school really ticked me off a lot. Especially when it wasn't even like you were studying anything that difficult in school all those years. Also, did I ever say you could get better scores than your older sister in school?
What you're saying to me right now is completely screwed up. You never wanted me to end up some kind of failure because I'd make you look bad. Yet me turning out better than you somewhere would piss you off and make you lash out against me. I knew something like that was the case with you back then. And recently, after having put a bit more thought into what really happened back then, I've really figured it all out.
Is that right? Then tell me, why are you still willing to introduce your fiancé to me? Just go ahead and get married without ever telling me. You hate my guts right now, don't you?
What I thought about you back then and what I think about you now are two completely different things. I assume that since we're both adults now, we changed a bit for the better. Yet, as I should have expected, you haven't changed one bit since the last time I met you.
I'm an adult now, so what I thought in the past is now set in stone and cannot be changed. So, you really think I was ever going to change?
I see. I guess I made a big mistake putting that small bit of hope into you that you'd be able to grow up and move on.
The thing is, all you had to do was find yourself a simple company man, and I wouldn't have to say a thing about you getting married someday, right? I mean, look at me. I'm married to a super elite business owner, right? I thought you could have at least got yourself someone smart that works in an office building. Yet, there you are, wanting to marry the most lowlife of all the lowlives. I never thought you'd be capable of doing such a piss-poor job as my little sister, but now you're just purposely trying to ruin my husband and my image. So, could you please lay off?
Why would you ever say something like that about my fiancé and I? I get that you hate to see me standing out more than yourself because it takes everyone's eyes off of you, but I'm not gonna sit here listening to you belittle me and asking me to marry someone else that would make me unhappy. You really only want to think about yourself and not another soul still.
That's not true at all, Alice. I'm thinking about you right now, and know that you not marrying that filthy man will make not only you happy, but me happy as well. And that is why I'm telling you what to do with him and your life right now, right?
In other words, what you're saying is that even if my fiancé happened to be even more amazing than you or your husband, you'd still look down on him in an attempt to make me stand out less?
Well, the first problem you have there is that you'd never find a man that's better than my husband or I. But if that really was the case, then I'd have to make sure to come to your wedding and ruin it for the both of you. I mean, what you're saying is that you have a man that's better than the one I found and tied the knot to, right? Something like that is not something I can allow to happen as your older sister.
Is that so? Then I guess you don't have to bother with us. Just come to the wedding. But besides that, you don't have to meet my fiancé or become close to either one of us anymore.
Oh, come on. Even if I were to come and meet with him right now, I don't think that he and I could hold a proper conversation. I'd have to keep putting him down for being such a dirty factory worker, and that might send him home crying, right?
Yeah, I can see that now. I'm sorry, Dad. It doesn't seem like I'll be able to get close to Margot after all. I've made sure to invite her husband and her to my wedding still, but you might have to forget about her being my best woman, because that sure is not going to happen with her.
Is that right? That is some very upsetting news. But you did give it your best effort talking with her, right? As long as you were able to do something like that. I know you tried everything you could with the woman.
Thank you, Dad.
But I really want to know why at her age, Margot is still trying so hard to take a stand against you and the man you're planning to marry. She was saying that it had to do with her husband's image. But why would that be affected by you guys? It shouldn't be. So there shouldn't be a reason for her to be acting like such a child still.
I know, and that's what I was thinking to myself as well then. But when it comes to her, she has all kinds of reasons for wanting to tear me down and always be on top. She had always hated losing ever since I was old enough to start accomplishing things, right? Which has turned her into the type of woman who thrives off of being the one standing out.
And I've known something like that would happen with her the moment she'd even listen to me when I tried to discipline her for that behavior. But to think she'd still have that exact same childish attitude at her age now.
Wait, so you tried to punish her for acting like that?
Well, of course I tried, Alice. First time she started doing those things to you, I thought she was just kidding. But as you guys got into elementary school, I could just tell that she was giving you a really tough time behind your mother's and my back. And so, your mother and I had plenty of talks about it.
What? Is that right?
Look, do you remember this? When Margot had first started to tear up all about your great report cards, she'd get all mad about it and make it seem like you were trying to steal the spotlight from her. But since then, your mother and I would do what we could to settle her down, as we knew you were doing well in school.
Right. I guess I could see that you guys were having some talks with her, but I just assumed she stopped getting so upset with me because she grew bored or something.
That's not at all what it was. That first time she'd gone and ripped up your grades, she came to us and started yelling about how you did it because you had all bad scores. But your mother and I already knew that it was her who done it, and so we let her know that. That then led to her shutting up about it and walking off in defeat.
That makes some sense. Because at one point she would just pout about me having good scores, but would never go to both of you tearing up my report card.
And that's because your mother and I intervened. But I am sorry for what had happened then. You were always so kind and reserved as a kid, yet you had to always deal with a horrible sister like her. And after she had gotten married to that man and left our house, your mother and I kind of forgot to keep her on our radar.
It's fine, Dad. It's been a while now for me since the last time she'd gotten that way with me. And because of her getting out of the house first, I had a lot of stress lifted off my shoulders, and have been pretty relaxed up until yesterday.
I'm glad to hear that. But Alice, I really am sorry for everything. I'm sure she's turned out the way she is now because your mother and I weren't tough enough on her about it.
No worries. Right now, I'm just trying to leave all of that be. As I've been doing for the past couple of years, thinking that maybe she changed. Although that doesn't seem to be the case at all, even though she's married now and is an adult herself.
I felt that same way after what happened between you both. But the fact that you are still willing to call her your older sister after all that's happened between you two goes to show you really are the best little girl your mother and I have ever had.
I see. Thank you for saying that, Dad. Hearing that from you really helps. Margot? Where are you at right now? The wedding is just about to begin here.
Oh, well, about that wedding of yours. Something just came up for me, so I'm no longer going to be heading to your wedding today.
What? But the wedding, it's about to start in 10 minutes, and you should have already been on your way out here, right?
Hey! You're joking with me, right? I'm not going to accept that you're actually getting married to some kind of a low-life contractor like him. And considering that I'm never in the mood to celebrate the poor getting married, I'm not gonna be there. So how about you leave me alone now and stop trying to embarrass me more than you already have?
Oh, I see. So that's really what you're wanting to do today? If that's how things are going to continue to be between you and I, then the family and I are cutting ties to you now.
Who do you think you are saying that to me? I'm going to be the one cutting ties to you with all of the family. You really think that either Mom or Dad would even want you getting married to a dirty contractor like that today?
Then make sure you do not come here at all today.
Your marriage is even embarrassing to my husband, so I made sure not to tell him a thing about the wedding today. Guess his and my seats will be left empty today. And the same goes for the rest of the family seats, so enjoy having your empty wedding, you loser!
But your husband is here with us right now.
What? No, wait, what the hell are you talking about? There's no way in hell that could be the case right now.
Then why is he standing near me all frustrated right now? I'm telling you, that's your husband, and I know because he's upset about you.
Huh? I have no idea what you're going on about right now. My husband left on a business trip yesterday, and I never ever talked with him about you having a wedding today, or at all for that matter.
That business trip he went on was true, and that's why he told me that he came here directly from that trip after he'd finished up with the meeting yesterday. And I feel bad for him though, because he'll have to head back today for some more meetings.
What? So you're saying that my husband really is with you guys right now? Why would he be there of all places right now, though?
I can tell you more about that in detail after my wedding is over and I'm back home. I want you to just enjoy your day today, doing whatever you got caught up in instead of coming out to be with the rest of us.
I haven't been able to get even one response from my husband since I last talked with you. Did my husband really go to your wedding today and view it?
Yeah, he sure did. Today's wedding was the best I've ever seen, I think. I'm sure that has to do in part with it being mine and me having a bias towards it. But thank God you weren't there today to ruin everybody's mood. Had you really came today, I'm sure you would have done everything in your power to completely ruin it for all of us. I feel a whole lot better now not having to worry about that ever happening to me anymore.
What the hell are you talking about? You explain everything to me right now.
That's right. Where would you like me to start this story?
I want you to tell me right now why the hell my husband of all people was at your wedding. Did you get in touch with him behind my back or something? And who do you think you are inviting my husband to be there even though I never showed up?
You were invited to the wedding, though. But you decided to drop out last minute for one simple reason. And that's because you hated the idea of my fiancé and I getting married, right?
But I never once told my husband about the fact that you'd be having your wedding.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. And that's why when we told him about it, he seemed very shocked. He was wondering why you would never talk to him about something so important as your sister's wedding. And you weren't just not talking to him about it, but actively trying to hide it from him, right?
What?
He asked you a few times about how your little sister would be getting married soon. Yet every time he asked, you just played dumb and never gave him an answer, right? That's what he had told us after we told him about the details for our wedding.
That was, one could say I completely forgot all the details when he'd ask me.
Are you kidding me? You just said a second ago that you were purposefully not telling him. You're making yourself look like a total dumbass now, so would you please stop it with those sad excuses?
Excuse me? What do you think you're saying to your older sister right now? All that happened was my husband going to your wedding by himself, right? I didn't go there because I didn't want to go there is all. That is all. I want to know this now. Why would you guys invite my husband out to your wedding anyway? You guys are making it seem like you've always been close to one another, talking about your weddings like that without going through me.
About that, it was my husband that invited him.
Huh? I really have no idea what you're saying now. Are you telling me that your fiancé at the time had prior relations with my husband of all people? Your lie is looking so shabby right now that you'd better just stop there. There is not a place in this world where a business owner would want to be talking to a contractor.
Well, if you remember all of those times I told you before, you'd know that my husband isn't a contractor. My husband happens to be an investor.
What? How much further do you plan on taking this lie of yours? I literally saw you with your fiancé while he came home wearing overalls from a nasty old factory. If he really were an investor, then why the hell would he be coming home all covered in filth like that?
You just saw him coming back from going to see one of said factories.
Huh? Why would he go out there?
In the past, my husband was working for a factory, actually. And, well, even though he's long past having worked there, he still likes to go out and see other factories because he enjoys the people that work in them and the environment. He likes to think that when it comes to doing things like business, the best thing to do before striking a deal is to go see the facilities in person and talk with the leaders there. That's just the kind of man my husband is and always will be.
Are you seriously saying all of that right now?
Yes, I really am. And that's why when he had a meeting that involved him going out to the old factory he's been working on in the past, he got on his old overalls and went out there to see the new owner.
So then your husband really is an investor? Then that should mean he's not anything special and just calls himself an investor to make himself look good, right?
Not at all. He happens to have a lot to show for now. And that's why he's currently in talks with your husband about his business. The reason he came out to our wedding is because he's working on getting a loan from my husband.
Huh? Are you seriously saying that? So, is that the reason why you guys were talking to my husband without me being involved?
Yep, that's exactly right.
Then why did all three of you do that without ever telling me anything about it? Don't tell me that you and my husband have had something going on behind my back and you're not telling me about it.
Stop that, Margot. You're really trying to make excuses for all of this like a failing politician now. The only man I love is the man I just married. I really have no interest at all in the man you married.
I'm sure that's the case then. My husband would never show any interest in a simple loser like you, now would he?
But the thing is, he shows even less interest in backstabbing assholes like you.
What? What did you just say then?
I'm saying that your husband is no longer interested in a backstabbing prick like you anymore.
Huh? I'm being called the backstabber now? What do you mean by that?
Margot, today you were called to go to another man's house, weren't you? And it seems that you have a very intimate relationship with him. Can you please explain to me what's all going on there?
What did he say? Why the hell do you have me in a chokehold right now over something like that?
Because your husband came and talked to me about it. He's known about the relationship you and I always had with one another in the past, and so when he came to our wedding today, he had a one-on-one talk with me asking for my help. He was wondering why you were hiding the fact that today was my wedding, even though he'd be on a business trip. And that made him start to suspect that you had an ulterior motive made up.
He was telling you all of that? But that's just my husband trying to speak poorly about me after I didn't show up. He's not telling you the truth about me.
Listen, Margot, your husband happens to be a real smart cookie and have very good intuition. When he started to figure that something was going on with you, he hired a detective.
Huh? He hired a detective?
Also, just before leaving on his business trip yesterday, he placed a camera in the house. Which means when you had that man over last night after your husband left, your husband was able to see it all.
What? Are you being serious about that right now? Wait, that was all? There was just a bit of a misunderstanding there. After my husband had left, I became a bit lonely. And, well...
Go and tell that crappy excuse to your husband, please. I don't care to hear anything about all of that, and I don't think for 1 second that your excuses could be true. Because of what all you've done today, the whole family is fed up with you, and we will all be cutting ties to you now. There isn't anybody left around you to be your ally in any of this. And when you're abandoned by your husband, we'll all make sure to laugh at you. After her husband had come back to her later that night, Margot got down on all fours and began to beg him for forgiveness as she apologized to him for what she'd done. However, him being both a very smart and intuitive man, he knew that there was no chance of ever trusting her again after what she'd done, and decided to divorce the backstabber as soon as he could. Having been thrown out by her very own husband, all because she tried to not only tell him about my wedding, but also had an affair with another man, all of the family gave up on her and disowned her, leaving her with no help from anyone as she was hit with a settlement for having cheated on her husband, and she would have no choice but to become homeless. Having finally ended any relationship that was left with such a horrible person as her, I was finally able to free my mind and could focus on the one thing I'd been looking forward to this whole time, and that's starting my new life with my new husband.
The next coming holiday will be coming back home, which means you will be getting ready for our arrival starting now, right? That means I need you to start cleaning out my bedroom for us to sleep in, as well as buy things that people like us will need during our stay. You have a month left before we're there, so get to it. Huh? Emmy, it's been such a long time since I last heard from you. I am not texting with you again right now to reminisce with you about the last time we talked to one another. So this upcoming holiday you both will be coming back to town? Okay. That's right, because we've been wanting to come back home to my parents' house for a bit in order to relax. Anyhow, since the two of us elites will be coming all the way back there to be with you, make sure that everything there is ready for me. And I mean ready for me in a way that would match my position. I want the inside of the house to be sparkling clean for me, and for you to have all the cooking be up to par with what I eat on the regular. And I would like for my husband, Reese, to enjoy his time at my parents' house as well. He needs to know that both my parents also mean business, and that they have a lot of money themselves, and are why I turned out so amazing. So make sure you don't do anything that would embarrass my parents or I, and make sure the house is spotless. Understand? This is going to be my first time seeing the both of you again after such a long time, so I can try my best to make things look the best that I can before you guys arrive. However, you might need to help me with some of the stuff you want, since I'm not sure what all you'd like me to have ready for you here. What the heck is that emotionless response from you? I will not allow you to make a fool of me when I come home with my husband. Remember that you never have married someone like my little brother. You would have never been allowed access to a family of such wealth. So make sure to follow everything I've asked from you to the letter. You don't have to talk to me like that. By the way, what has Reese said about all of this? Is he really okay with you having me go through all that work to care for you guys? I remember him not really being the kind of man to care about things like you're asking me to. I do not care about what Reese has to say regarding this. He happens to be loved by my dad, which means that in order to continue to have my dad loving him, he won't say anything bad about what I've asked. Now shut your mouth and get to work cleaning up the house and preparing all the things that you'll plan to cook for us. And if you even slack off for 1 second while we're there, I'm not sure what'll end up happening to you. Understood. I cannot believe this. I told you to get some of the best food together for us for lunch, didn't I? So then, why did you decide to make up something like these chicken tenders and french fries? I have no idea what any of this means to you. What about all of the things I said to you earlier? Did you not understand? That somehow led to you making us such embarrassing food for lunch. Can you not even read and understand the English language, you useless wife? I came all the way back here with my husband, and you've prepared me this crap to eat? Huh. You go and prepare us something only a 5-star hotel would be able to prepare for their guest. You pile of junk.
Is that all you have left to say? If that's all, then today is the last day we'll be meeting with you. I do not allow that kind of selfish behavior in this house and will not be giving you another chance.
What's all this about now? No matter what a little runt like you tries to say to me, it's not going to scare me into respecting you, huh?
It's not Carter you're talking with, but your father. And right now your father is telling you that this whole relationship I've had with you is over now after that outburst.
What? Dad! But isn't this Carter's phone number I'm texting right now?
Carter handed her phone off to me when you first started texting her. She told me she couldn't stand what you were saying to her anymore and asked me to think of some way to deal with you instead. Thank goodness I was near her when this all started, or else she would have had to try and fend for herself again. So this is the way you've been talking to my Carter this whole time then, huh? Like a complete jackass who thinks the whole world gets to revolve around her?
It's not like I've been picking on her or anything like that, Dad. I'm not some kid anymore, and neither is she. We both happen to be adults now, although I've actually made a name for myself, and I'm making my own money. Now, what's all of this about? Why did you just say today would be my last time seeing you all? Dad, we're family, aren't we? What do you think you're talking about right now?
I'm saying that we're all cutting ties to you.
Dad, are you trying to play around with me? Because if you are, it's not very funny anymore. Or could you just be a little drunk right now is all?
I knew things were like this with you. Even as your own father is telling you the outcome of your bad behavior, you're trying to pass it all off as a joke and not take responsibility for your actions.
Wait. Why are you taking her side in all of this, Dad?
Do you really have zero clue as to what your sister-in-law had to go through in order to make that dish for you? What she made for you was something that this whole family used to eat a lot in the past, when we weren't as affluent as we are now. You understand that, right? She knew that you'd be coming back home after being away from us for so long and thought that she'd make a dish from our past so that we could all sit back and bond over it again. Yet you, of all people...
Something like chicken tenders and fries is such poor garbage that I just couldn't be asked.
I understand just the kind of person you are now. Don't you ever talk to any one of us again, and that means Carter especially.
Huh? You really are trying to mess around with me now, aren't you, Dad? Well, screw you too.
Carter, I'm so sorry about what happened today.
What happened is nothing you should be apologizing to me for, Hank.
But that thing happens to be my daughter, which means I have to take responsibility for the way it acts. And for that, I'm so very sorry.
I like to believe that both you and your wife did what you could to raise her the right way. Just take a look at someone like Eden, for example. He turned out the perfect young man, all because of you and your wife's parenting.
You're right. Someone like Eden did turn out the way we wanted him to, but when it comes to my daughter, Emmy, I never expected her to change so drastically from when we had little money to where we're at now. When my company ended up turning up some major profit and we were able to stop worrying as much about money, she really did a 180. She's even begun to cause problems for my company and me in the workplace. My head really hurts now because of her. And no matter how many times I try and discipline her, she never ever listens.
I've heard about some of this stuff from Eden himself. At some point, Emmy started to only care about things like money and her image to the rest of the world. You, your wife, and your son were all okay with the person I am when I first came into your family. You never had any bias towards me. However, when it comes to Emmy...
As of right now, Eden isn't around, so in his absence, I will do everything in my power to make sure that you're okay and protected. If that brat does anything else to you, you come to me and let me know of it right away. Both my wife and I will do what we can to get rid of her. And that's because we are your family now and your ally.
Thank you so much for saying that to me. Knowing that you both have my back makes me feel a lot stronger. Carter! What is it? So today it's not my dad talking to me using your phone, right? Yesterday I didn't have it in me to respond to you anymore. Anyway, didn't your father tell you not to talk to any of us anymore? Especially me, after what happened? I don't care about what he said to me. I don't care at all about that. The fact that you started to even show my dad all those messages I sent was very unfair of you. And that's the only reason he ever got involved in all of this. Unfair of me? So you wanted me to just sit there and take that crap from you yesterday? A runt like you is nothing more than a servant to me. That means no matter what you're told, you do not fight back at me. I married your little brother and became a part of this family, Emmy. What makes you think you can say such heartless things about your sister-in-law? I have never once thought of you being as part of my family, ever since you married Eden. So would you stop bringing up such gut-wrenching things like a runt being a part of my family? It's absolutely disgusting. Would you stop acting like an overgrown child, please? What did I ever do to you that's made you treat me like this? I heard from your parents that you all used to eat chicken tenders and french fries a lot when you were all younger, and that it was like a classic to you all. So I thought that by making it for your husband and you when you came back, it would bring back fond memories from the past. Also, chicken tenders happen to be one of Eden's favorite foods. Yet, for some reason, you think you have the right to say such terrible things about me now? The fact that you cooked up some chicken tenders and fries for us to eat shows me just how much of a lowlife you really are. And what was that? One of Eden's favorite foods is chicken tenders? So that's why he was able to marry a runt like you. So now you're going to make fun of your little brother? If you're no longer going to think of me as part of your family, then I'm going to do the same regarding you. That would be the best outcome for all of us. I'm giving you one last chance to apologize to me, Carter. Do you really plan to continue what you're doing? I don't care what you think anymore. And that's because I no longer think of you as part of my family. Do you really think that you're in the position to be talking to me like that? You are far too saucy. Wasn't it you, though, that told me I've never been like family to you first? It doesn't matter that I don't view you as part of my family, but when you sit there acting all cruel towards me, that is something I will not forgive. You don't even have the right to say things like that to me. You sure love to talk a lot of nonsense, don't you? But I'll have you know that it's not only me who doesn't view you as part of the family anymore. Huh? What do you mean by that? Both your mom and dad have said to me that they no longer want to have any ties with you. And they said that they told you that as well. So did you already forget that or something? Come on, that's just my dad joking around with me. However, when they hear what you said to me, they might seriously cut ties to you. Because unlike what they'll do to you, they've never ever kicked someone like me out of their family if they know what's good for them. I'm the one that graduated from a very esteemed university and then went on to start my own business that's doing well. I'm an elite, as most would say. There's no merit in cutting ties to someone as amazing as me. Well, I don't think your dad cares if there's merit to it or not now. What are you saying? What does an outsider like you even know about my family, huh? My dad is a businessman himself, and that means he's always thinking about the merits to any choice he makes. Now how about you go ahead and use your head, little there, sunshine? To him, there are plenty of merits that he can see coming after you're gone. Stop it with all of your lying, all right? I'm not lying to you right now. I already heard from your dad everything I needed to know about his relation to you and what you've been doing. He's told me about how you use his name as a tool for helping you get around out in the business world. But because of that, he has had to be asked so many times now what is wrong with his daughter and why he allows you to do such things. I am his daughter. That means I'm the one that gets to choose how I use his name or not. And you have been abusing his name for far too long now. Anytime you go out there and cause issues, he's the one that has to take responsibility for them. You don't even know what the hell he's already had to go through because of your aimless actions. And that's why, once we've all cut ties to you, you won't be able to carry on with that bullcrap anymore. Your dad is tired of your nonsense and is going to end it all right here and now. All of that is just your lies to try and get me to tuck my tail between my legs, right? Not at all, because I've already been talking with your dad about you, and he's working on getting rid of you right now. And in the next couple of days, you will be hearing from his lawyer, I'm sure. From his lawyer? I cannot believe this. He's really going to throw me out? So now you've gone and brainwashed my entire family in order to get me out of there? All of this is your doing. I haven't even done anything yet. All of this is because you went and did the most stupid stuff an adult could do. I'm going to make you regret ever coming into my family and talking to me like that. Dad, all of that crap about you wanting to cut ties with me is a lie, right? I just heard about this from that low-life runt bitch. Just get rid of that useless whore already, Dad.
None of what you heard from her was a joke. Like I told you before, you are never going to be seeing any of us ever again. And that means you don't ever contact your mother, you don't ever contact your brother, you don't ever contact Carter, and you don't ever contact me.
I get to decide who I want to contact whenever I want to, Dad.
Is that the reason why you've been messing around with all my colleagues then? Because of you always using my name as a way to get what you want, I've had to answer for your reckless actions. I hear that you used my name as a way to bail yourself out of trouble as well, acting as though I was the one asking you to do all those things.
I haven't been doing anything crazy, though. I've just been using your name so that I can get contracts of my own from people, and that's all.
And because of all that crap, you've gone and ruined pretty much every relation I've spent years making with all my contacts and colleagues.
Ugh, jeez. You are so freaking annoying, Dad. Then how about you strengthen those relationships you have with those people so that they aren't so easily broken by me? Then you won't have to worry about losing any more people because of me. And that would bring me some merit as well.
You cut that BS out right now. I don't give a damn about what merit you receive or whatever the hell. People are not your tools to use.
What's going on with you? As a businesswoman myself, we should be putting merit before anything else. So that's how you run a successful company. You've been doing that all your life, right?
Sure, I'm a businessman, but I've told you over and over again I did not get this company to where it is now by backstabbing all the people I've worked with and tearing everyone else down. In this world, idiots that are not able to keep the bridges they formed with their clients and their colleagues up are those that are meant to fail.
You really love to preach, but it's freaking annoying.
Someone like yourself that's used both your company and the people around it to get money will no longer be a colleague of mine, even if you're my daughter. The reason we asked that Carter go ahead and make those chicken tenders and fries for all of us to eat was because it had meaning behind it. It showed us all not to take what we have now for granted, because at any moment, everything you have can go away, and you'll be right back at the bottom again, eating only that for your meals. It also held memories that we all shared of the family we built, as we went from being a poor family to a wealthy one. Yet now, you've gone and ruined all of it by saying that it was not enough for you, and that you can only live off fancy meals in a clean household. And now, not only myself, but your mother, your brother, and Carter all feel terrible because of what you said. As someone that cannot understand nor respect their family, you are no longer a part of us. That is why I've made my choice for what to do with you. I've told everyone around me to cut ties with you so that we no longer have to be used and abused. And that includes all of the customers and clients of yours that you've been messing with behind my back.
Huh? What the hell do you think you're doing? All of those are my very important customers. If all of them end their contracts with me, my company will... Are you saying you don't care about what happens to me anymore?
I told you from the very beginning when you were starting your very own company that it would be an uphill battle, and that if you really wanted to form a reliable business where you didn't have to worry about your income anymore, you had to form bonds with your own customers and keep those relations strong. But instead, you've been using my name to take people into falsely made contracts, which later led to me receiving the bad reputation. If you think you can get away with doing that to your own father of all people, then you go ahead and fight on your own now.
Dad, if you throw me out of your family right here and right now, you're going to regret it.
Like hell I will. The only asshole that's going to be regretting everything they've done will be you after I've had everyone cut ties to you. You're going to learn to hate your existence after never once heeding any of my warnings about this.
What the hell? Blaming me for absolutely nothing? This is all that bitch's fault. Her. I'm not going to let her get away with all of this.
How many goddamn times do I have to tell you to leave that poor woman the hell alone? Emmy, damn it!
No matter what it is, all of this is your fault. My mom and dad throwing me out of their family, all of my customers ending their contracts with me. Had you never came into the family like some diseased rat, none of this would have been happening to me. No, I don't think that's true. I think all of this was going to happen to you eventually based on all you've done. Speaking like you're my dad himself, are you trying to make fun of me right now? Who the hell are you talking about? You're the one that's been making fun of all of us. I've had enough of you always talking down to me about everything. All you are to me now is some stranger that I don't even need to play nice with anymore. Because that's all you've ever thought of me this whole time. And what about your little brother? Does me being a stranger also make him a stranger too? Are you saying that this whole time Eden hasn't been like family to you? Why the hell are you bringing up my brother's name right now? So you don't even remember a damn thing. That day you came home to be around the three of us was your little brother's Memorial Day. What? Is that right? Don't you freaking dare tell me you only now just remembered that. But you know what? I'm sure that's the case because to a freaking pile of crap like you, all you care about is yourself and not a single person else. I thought when you said you were coming back home after all these years, you were coming home to be around your little brother. You, the sister that can never even come to his funeral last year after he passed away suddenly, was no longer here. So of course you didn't even know it was your brother's memorial when you came back here. That's the whole reason I served everyone one of his favorite dishes, that being chicken tenders and french fries. Yet you went and told me off for doing such a thing and criticized his favorite food. Hey, stop trying to make me seem like some useless human being. I just forgot that it was his memorial is all. This is the reason why I hate runs like you. Always whining about the past and always running their mouth in such a rude manner. I can see now that my mom, my dad, and everyone else in this family are not good enough for me. In the end, all of you are some real low-life runs. I guess the only family that's fit for me is my husband, Reese. As long as I have Reese with me, we can fix my company, and there won't be any issues at all. Have you still not heard anything about him? Huh? If you think you're going to get me to react to some kind of fake news about him, it's not going to work. That wasn't going to be my plan. It's just, I thought that he would have already talked with you about it. What the hell are you talking about? Hurry up and freaking tell me. Reese told me that he's going to leave you now. What a freaking lie. Seems that he lost his love for you watching you as you went around doing whatever you wanted with your company without any care in the world. And after what you said and did to your own family this time, he said to us that he'd use this as his chance to get away. He said to both your parents and me that if she was treating her own family like you've been, that someday he might be next. What? What did you say? I can't even believe that. Are you really saying that my husband is going to throw myself and my company away? Does he really think he can go out and find a job for himself now? You don't have to worry about him finding another job or not. What? Reese happens to be completely different from you, Emmy, and is seen as someone a lot of people can respect. Your dad even realizes that, and said that he'd be hiring him into his company now once he's left yours. It also sounded like Reese has some ideas for a company of his own that he'd like to start, so your dad will be supporting him with that financially from here on out. What the hell are you? I've already lost all of my customers, and all of my family is cutting ties to me for good, and now my husband is going to throw me aside like the rest of you? The one that threw all of their family away first was you, Emmy. This was supposed to be the time where I began to expand my company even further. If all of these things really happen to me, then I'm going to be forced to live on my own? Hey, please, Carter, go and talk with my dad right now and get him to stop thinking about cutting me out of the family. Or can you at least ask him to get me some more customers? You already know something like that is going to be impossible for us to do now. No way it is. You told me before that it had not been for me marrying to your brother, I would have stayed a low-life runt for the rest of my life, right? I don't doubt that at all. But the same thing applies to you, Emmy. Had you never had a dad like yours, you would have never been able to do anything because you are so useless. What? And now that's all I have left really to say. So from now on, please listen to what everyone has said and stop talking to me. Oh, wait a second. Please, talk to my dad, at least for me. Carter? Carter!
Carter, Emmy really did a lot of terrible things this time.
I've told you plenty of times before that no matter what she's done to me, it is not your fault. My sister-in-law, no wait, Emmy and I are no longer a family, which means you really don't have to worry about things anymore. I sure don't care anymore, and this time I'm telling you, she won't be able to bother me anymore. Now as for you helping to defend me throughout all of this, thank you so much.
Both my wife and I promised you after our son passed away that we'd still be here to protect you and make you feel at home. And the same applies for the rest of our time on this earth.
Thank you, Hank.
I had a word with my wife about some things last night. Would you mind if perhaps my wife and I were to adopt you?
What? You're asking me if I'd like to become your child?
I'm not going to say that the idea of such a thing is impossible. After all, ever since our little boy went to heaven, my wife and I have been having you live with us, and you've been taking such great care of our needs. So we like to think that you're more than just our daughter-in-law, but our true daughter. So we thought if you were willing to do so, we'd love to legally adopt you and make you ours. Please let me know if I'm troubling you by saying this.
What you've said makes me so happy. I myself have seen both your and your wife as my real family. So if you really have me as your daughter, then I look forward to being a true member of this family, Dad. After having been abandoned by her own husband, Emmy was left by herself to try and carry the weight of her company. She made attempts to still use her dad's name in order to get new customers, but a lot of them already heard about what she'd done from Hank, and they didn't even give her a chance. But that did not stop her from fighting on, as she would reach further and further out, trying to find customers that she could work with. And although she tried and tried to keep things going, the company was performing worse and worse. And soon, she had to start cutting some of her employees' pay, as well as asking them to stay home from work as not to take any more of her money. But her frustration began to increase. She'd start taking it all out on her employees through workplace harassment, which would leave her in masses until there was nobody left working for her. And by the time she had realized that there was no hope at all for her company, the Bakes contacted her and she was forced to file for bankruptcy. Those employees of hers that she mistreated before her company collapsed would come to bite her in the butt soon after, asking for settlements because of what she'd done. And they all made it very clear to her that if she didn't settle with them there, they'd take her to court and make things even worse for her. I heard that in order to settle with all of her ex-employees that she'd harassed, she had to borrow some major money, which she now had to start paying off every month. And after all that has taken place, Emmy made an attempt to go out and start looking for work as a simple office worker. But due to her past of always talking down to everyone and using her dad's name, no company in the area would hire her. This soon led to her losing her place that she'd been living at. And with no house and no money left to her name, Emmy packed what she could carry on her and left town to find work somewhere else far from here. The last thing I heard about her is that she ended up in a much larger city down south and has been working as a prostitute there, trying to make whatever she can to afford that city's much higher living cost. As for what's happened with me, in light of now being a true part of my late husband's family, I am now studying up on the company Hank runs and helping him little by little with it. Things have been going really well with the family after that mess, and always being busy with everything has become really fun for me. It seems that to Hank, teaching me about his company and how to manage it is really enjoyable for him, and at times he's even telling me that I could be the next CEO of his company if I really wanted to. Hey, I just walked by you then, didn't I? Someone wearing overalls and walking all sluggishly down the road was you, right, April? So, that person who was laughing a lot after she passed by was you, Maxine? I just finished up with my work a little bit ago, and I'm heading back home right now from there. Is that so? Which means from here you're going to stop at the gas station down the road to pick up some dinner for tonight? I could see you start walking towards it as I walked away from you. That's right. I'm really tired today, as you could tell by me walking so sluggish, and I don't really have it in me now to cook dinner. I might just grab a sandwich or something and call it a night there. Then that means we're still living without a husband around? If a lowlife like yourself doesn't get to work soon looking for a hard-working man, then there's really going to be no hope for you at all. But of course, there aren't really any men around that would want to marry you anyway, right? I'm sure that might be the case. Anyway, I'm really tired after a day like today, so... Huh? What's with that really cheeky behavior of yours right there? Listen, you, I'm the one that's giving you the opportunity to talk with me again, so you should be thankful for this at the very least. Thankful? But most of the time whenever I talk with you, you're just saying mean things about me, right? So what's there to really be thankful for now? I'm mean to you because even though you're Kevin's little sister, you are so hopeless as a woman. Because you keep choosing to live like that, you're causing your brother a lot of embarrassment, right? Kevin happens to be an elite CEO, and his honor is very, very important to him. So me always making fun of you and being mean is warranted, and I think your brother would be happy to learn about what I'm doing to you as well. I have been trying very hard to maintain a good relationship with Kevin. That is not at all what I'm talking about here. You really have no clue what's going on then, do you? The only reason he even allows you anywhere near him still is because he's a very kind man. But did you know that he tries to hide the fact that you're still his little sister from everyone else? What? Yes, he never talks about you with any of his friends or colleagues. And whenever I look through his phone, he makes sure not to have any pictures of you at all in it. No way. You thought he wouldn't be hiding the truth about you from others? A little sister like you, who works in a dirty old factory, having to walk home every evening in the same old nasty overalls, eating gas station food. You think he'd really want to talk about how you exist with the rest of his elite colleagues? I never knew that about him. I see now. But you're a very twisted and mean little sister to him. What? I'm not trying to be mean towards anyone, though. I'm just trying to enjoy the life that I have without causing any trouble. Well, I beg to differ regarding that one. Your true evil nature is showing through by the way you're behaving towards me. And that's the reason why I think, deep down, your brother really hates having you as a sister. No way he does. And to make things worse, you have no brain inside that head of yours as a high school graduate. Which is crazy because when you compare yourself to me, the top of her class at a music school where she learned piano, and is currently playing one for work, you're absolutely nothing. I would really love to teach you how you could use your head to make some money like I am, but you don't happen to have a brain in that thick skull of yours. I like to think that I'm using my head, though, to make money. I'm not sure what all you're having to do inside that factory, but whatever it is, anyone could do it easily. I really don't think that's the case at all, actually. Everyone I work with has put in a lot of time perfecting their trade. Well, it's not like I really care about those filthy places at all anyway. Now please, hurry your little self home and eat that gas station garbage up before putting yourself to bed. I really hope that someday you can find a way out of that disgusting lifestyle you're holding on to there. Hey, who was that hopeless man I just saw you with here? Him? He's the factory. Factory? Did you bring some human that works at the same filthy factory as you to this wedding? There's no way you would do that to your brother and I on the day of our wedding, right? Yes, I did, but didn't you already hear about him from Kevin before today? Kevin would never ever invite such a disgusting man as that to be at his wedding today. What the heck do you think you're doing? Bringing along another lowlife to come and see our wedding today? Wait, but Kevin said this, Kevin said that. Do you think that by just bringing up your older brother's name, everything will be fine for you? There's no way Kevin would ever want another factory worker at his wedding. I know more than anyone else here, including you. Could you be gathering up a ton of lowlifes right now in an attempt to ruin and or take over my wedding today? Why would I ever do something so meaningless on the day of my brother's wedding? I want you to send that man home right now. Understood? I'm sorry, but I can't do something like that to him on a day like today. He came all the way out here to be with us all today, and he happened to be Kevin's. I don't care about who he is anymore, so hurry up and get rid of him right now. I already hate the idea of having you here at my wedding, so I will not allow another of your kind to be with you. Hey, Kevin. Maxine just started texting me saying that she wants me to kick Dexter out of your wedding right now. I can't do something like that to him, especially after all he's done for you today. What do you think I should be trying to do right now? Do you think I should go and have a word with Maxine in person about this? Or could you maybe go and talk with her really quick?
What? Why would she want that? Did something happen between Dexter and her?
Nothing's happened between the two of them, but she told me not to bring any more factory worker lowlives into her wedding.
What the heck? That's just the same old joke that Maxine is always saying.
She jokes about that a lot?
She does. She will sometimes go on about things like that as a joke with me. Although it's not a very good joke if you ask me, but I just fake a laugh in order to get her to shut up about it. I think she's just saying things like that because she has Tourette's or something, so don't mind her.
You think so?
That's right. She would never have any right to be saying things like that about people on purpose. That's why it has to be something like Tourette's, unless she's just saying it to those that have better jobs than factory workers. Because Lord knows what would happen if she said that to someone with serious intention. But it's just a joke, so don't worry yourself about it. She's always going on about that stuff.
Tourette's? Saying jokes like that? I don't really get what you're saying, but maybe that's really what's going on with her.
I have a bit of a problem, though. I completely forgot to introduce Maxine to Dexter before the wedding today. I'll have to introduce her to him sometime later when I have a bit more time on my hands. I'm sure she'll be happy to actually know who he is and will stop making jokes like that about him.
I see.
Oh, I'm sorry, I've run out of time to be on my phone right now. I'll talk some more with you later. I have to grab my jacket and go find Maxine so that we can head out and start this wedding. If you're told anything else like you were told earlier by Maxine, just brush it off and don't worry about it.
All right, I guess. I have one more thing to say before you go. Kevin, am I an embarrassment to you in any way?
What? What the heck are you going on about now?
I just want an answer to that question. Does having me as your little sister embarrass you any?
I get what you're asking, so I'm gonna answer you with the honest truth. You really are an embarrassment.
What?
I mean, come on, you and I both have really similar looking faces, don't we? Wait, I'm sure you might not have really noticed that at all, but ever since you were born, I've been told that by everyone I've come across that's seen you and I side by side. Which is why on a day like today, if you and I are close to one another, I'm going to feel a slight bit embarrassed, you know?
So that's what you meant. I guess a lot of people have said that sort of thing about us.
So you really have been aware of what I'm talking about. Anyway, I really don't have any time left to be texting you, so I'll catch you later. If you're ever feeling a bit embarrassed like I do sometimes, go ahead and put a mask on to cover your face up.
Will do. I'll talk to you later, Kevin. Hey! I've come to realize that even you being here at our wedding is causing you to bring a lot of attention onto yourself. Have you noticed that at all? I'm sure that they are all wondering why there is one odd low-life girl standing around at the wedding of an elite couple. You're really going to say things like that to me when it's the middle of your own wedding? Because you are standing out like a sore thumb. I have no other choice now but to talk to you about it. Right now there's this low-life girl standing around at the wedding of an elite pianist who is starting to cause a mess. How about you give the piano a try? Do you have any idea what do re mi is? I can give it a try if you're all right with it. How freaking hilarious. Wait, are you seriously wanting to give playing the piano a try right here and now? Yes, I actually do want to give it a go. This will be a lot sooner than I was initially planning on going on stage, because my original plan was to play the piano for you guys when you both came out to do the bouquet toss and such. I guess I can start going on now, though. What? What is going on here? What is this? I was a bit anxious since it's been a while and I didn't warm up at all. But seeing that everyone here was really into my playing is wonderful, right? But wow, was I really anxious about being up on stage like that already? What? Why were you able to play the piano so well like that? Because you've never played any instruments before in your life, right? I play the piano as a bit of a hobby sometimes and have been doing so for a long time now. Ever since I was 3 years old, actually. Wait, but that wasn't the kind of performance a hobbyist should be able to give at a wedding. What? Did you do something to the piano to make it play automatically for you? You think that I tampered with the piano? How exactly would someone like me be able to do that? Because there's no way someone like you should be able to play the piano that well. And it didn't sound like you had the music playing through a speaker either. Did you bring some kind of a machine with you that you stuck inside the piano to help you play like that? You had to have, right? There's no way I'd tamper with such an expensive grand piano like that one, even if I was a bit nervous about performing and wanted some help. Then why were you so good? Why the heck can a small fry like yourself play the piano like that so freaking well? And like I said before, I have been playing the piano as a hobby ever since I was 3 years old. For about 7 years, I was going to practice for it, but now I'm usually just playing it on and off as a hobby. As a hobby? You have to be playing it more than one would as a hobby, right? All right, I'll admit, I might play it a bit more than most would as a hobby. But due to my work being so busy lately, I've only been able to get in around 6 hours of playing a day. I'm sure that's not a lot to a pro like you, so I really hope that I don't start losing my edge as time goes on. But considering it's around 30 hours a week on the piano, I think that should still be enough to keep the skill level I'm at now. Huh? You play for 6 hours in one day? Every day of the week? And during the weekend as well, of course. I play about 6 hours a day during the week, and on the weekends I'll do between 6 and 12 hours on the piano. You have to be joking around right now. Are you actually telling me the truth? I'm being honest with you, that I'm only able to put in enough time right now to consider it a hobby of mine. I think I'm nothing compared to those that play the piano seriously. Like you, for instance. I mean, you actually went to school to study the piano after high school, right? And as of right now, your job is playing the piano? That's why I think there's no comparing myself with someone of your skill level, Maxine. That's absolutely right, April. You are nothing at all compared to the levels that I can perform at. You didn't even go anywhere after you left high school. So consider me a god compared to the performance you just put on. I would really love to hear a song from you right now, Maxine. What? You are always talking about your work and how much time you've put into becoming a pro. So I'd really love to listen and enjoy what kind of piece you'll play. Considering that today is your wedding of all things, do you mind playing something for all your guests to listen to today? Wait, but I'm the bride right now, and having to play for my own wedding is a bit out of place, isn't it? Is that how you see it? Well, that's too bad. I was thinking that since you'd be playing for an amateur like myself, you'd really be able to move all your guests today by playing just a little bit for them. Ha! There's no reason for me to get them any more worked up over me than they already are, right? I'm sure that's the case. Sorry for suggesting that.
Hey, where the heck did you run off to?
Oh, I'm sorry, Kevin. I was really blushing in there after all your guests were clapping for me, so I went outside to take a break and get some fresh air. I'll be right back in a second. Did you need me for something?
What were you talking about earlier when you asked me if I was embarrassed by you? The way you just got up on stage like that and got everyone here going. Today, Dexter came to the wedding with another one of his friends after you both arrived, and he happens to be a music producer named Seth. And, well, that Seth guy heard your performance and said that he wanted to sign you up to play for him right away.
What? Like, with a contract and such?
This means that you'd be able to become a proper artist in the world of music, all right? That would be amazing for you. You're going to be signing that contract with him, right?
Wait.
Don't worry about it right now. I want you to talk with Seth when you come back inside, and after that, you can have a chance to really think all of the details over. I'm very proud to have you as my little sister, April. I'd actually like you to come back in here and play a couple more songs today. Please.
Wait. I really can't get back up there to play anymore today. I already was playing for 10 full minutes, and I'm really tired now. Don't you think it would be a far better idea to have someone who's a pro play? Like the bride, perhaps. I mean, look, she did go to school and study the piano after she graduated from high school. And right now, playing the piano is her job, right?
What? She plays the piano as her job?
Huh? I heard from her before that she plays the piano as a teacher and all.
She said that to you? Well, this is the first time I'm hearing about it. I guess there is a piano back at the house that she has out.
What? This is the first time you're hearing about Maxine being a piano teacher?
I happen to be out of the house a lot for work, so whatever she's doing there while I'm away, I'm not really sure about. Maybe she has students of hers come over to play the piano with her while I'm out of town? I did hear from her that she has a part-time job.
Now that I think about it, you never told her about how I play the piano as a hobby, and I've been doing so for most of my life.
I kind of wanted it to be a surprise for her. Since you'd play for us later today, I thought that would give her a little shock, you know? But hey, you sure did shock most, if not all, the audience here today with that insane performance you put on. Thank you so much for that, April. Man, the fact that today was considered your quote-unquote debut really has me reading right now.
Kevin, you're over-exaggerating my skill by a lot. Hey, you! Are you sure you're not mistaking anything right now? What? When you say that I might be mistaking something right now, you mean... The fact that you were able to perform something that everyone stood up and cheered for you over was just pure luck. All you did was play the piano well enough as an amateur that everyone loved it. I see. And I kind of feel the same way about that. I think those applause would have been much better spent on someone like yourself, who has many more achievements in the art of playing the piano as a pro. Which is why I really love it if you got on stage and played for everyone. Huh? Like I was saying before, I really only play as a hobby now. I feel like after my performance, everyone here should be allowed to listen to what a true pianist can play, when they're studied the art more than me, graduated from a school like me, and play as their profession. I already told you that I don't care to do something like that right now, right? But the fact that even though you play a lot better than me and do it as your job means you should have everyone applauding for you as well instead of just me today. And considering that Dexter of all people brought this piano for us today, I just believe that someone of your talent should get up on stage and show everyone who's boss. Who even is this Dexter guy? Isn't he that smelly and messy factory worker you brought along with you today? I don't even want to touch the piano that a disgusting man like him brought. Would you please not say something like that? Tell me right now, who is that Dexter guy? I have no clue who a filthy man like that even is. Ha! Dexter happens to be a really close friend of Kevin's and the production leader for the factory I'm working at. I happen to work for a piano factory right now, actually. Ah, is that right? Well, no matter what the factory is producing, the people that work there will always be the same. But for this event specifically, he brought along that very special grand piano that our factory rarely produces. And the reason it was brought in the first place is because Kevin wanted me to play it for you both later today, like I was saying. Is that so? Then you really were planning to go up there to play for everyone today? Things are starting to make a lot more sense for me now. But what does that have to do with anything, huh? By the way, the piano you call special sounds atrocious to me. Today was the first time I ever listened to such a dreadful noise coming from a cheap instrument. What? That grand piano happens to be one of the most sought-after pianos in the world. And the reason only so few are made by our factory is because of the amount of time and effort that needs to go into making it. And considering that today is the wedding of his friend, Dexter went ahead and rented that piano from a buyer out in Germany that was okay with sending it back to the States for a week. What? That man happens to be a very famous pianist whom he rented the piano back from. The fact that you call the piano that a man of his caliber uses in all of his performances cheap must mean you really have some fine-tuned ears on you. That's right. That's just one of those overpriced cheap pianos that everyone uses for the name on it, huh? Then, that would mean that the music producer that came here today was fooled by such a cheap piano and my skills as well, right? What? Music producer? Yes. The man that came with Dexter a little while later happens to be a very famous music producer. And after having heard my performance earlier, he asked me to sign on with him and perform. Are you being serious? Right now, he's at a place like this? Yes, he seems to be close to Kevin as well. A music producer? How unfair. Only you. This is so unfair. I'm going to play the piano now as well. I'll show everyone here, including him, what a true pianist sounds like. I have far more skill than you do to be chosen by that producer and made into an artist with. You're really going to play now? Please get up there and play for us. A music producer. I'm going to have my debut as well today. Finally. Oh no. Maxine? What happened to you up there? You graduated from a really famous music school and are working as a piano teacher, right? Huh? No, wait. The piano has to have some kind of defect somewhere inside of it. When I was up there playing it, everything worked and sounded perfectly fine. And even if there was a problem with the piano somewhere, what you just played was... Shut your mouth right now. I just don't feel very well today is all. Just leave what happened there be. Are you really a piano teacher like you said you are? Huh? Well, I just got finished talking with Kevin a second ago, and there he told me that today was his first time ever hearing about how you're a piano teacher, and he heard that from me. And based on the performance you just gave for all of us, I'm starting to think you might be lying to us. And so what if I was lying? What? No, wait. It's not like I really meant anything by that there. Well, you're right. That whole thing about me being a piano teacher was a lie. There you go. I've confessed to it for you. Will that make you happy now? Well, no. Actually, it's not like I wanted to hear that it was a lie or anything from you. But, I could kind of see this coming. And well, right now I'm a little bit surprised by what I saw and heard. I want to know why you would tell me a lie like that. I've always wanted to become a pianist, but I never had the talent to become one. And when I was in school for music after high school, I couldn't learn anything fast enough, and I ended up having to drop out. What? You dropped out? In other words, that means you never even graduated from there? I've been trying my hardest this whole time, but in the end, nothing ever worked out for me. And then, when I heard from you that you've been asked to sign a contract with a music producer today, I became jealous of you. But the fact that you got up there and played knowing well that you weren't good enough is amazing. I have never had that kind of confidence before, and I only ever play as a hobby now. Shut your goddamn mouth! Being praised by you is only making my anger worse. Just shut the frick up already. Stop trying to act like you're some kind of a good kid. Then let's change the topic. Why up until now have you always been making fun of me? What? You ended up being talentless, and you gave up on your dreams requiring you to drop out of school. Yet you sat there all the time making fun of me, calling me a lowlife and everything, which doesn't even have anything to do with you, right? Wait, that was all... Also, you were telling me about how Kevin never tells anyone about me being his little sister, which was also a lie, right? And considering that now Kevin is talking about how he never wants to tell anyone about your performance ever again, means he was much more embarrassed by you today than me, right? What the hell is this? Why is your behavior change so suddenly? Also, you lied to me about being a piano teacher and about graduating from college. In other words, you're just an uneducated high school graduate, right? I'm sure the embarrassment from everyone finding all that out about you right now is gut-wrenching. April, as a way of trying to embarrass me, were you actually wanting for me to get up on stage and perform in front of everyone like that? What the heck are you talking about? You think I would have put that much thought into causing something like that to happen to you? I mean, all I am is an uneducated lowlife, so there's no way I could have thought anything up like that. So, you're going to be divorcing Maxine now, right?
Sure am. I never knew that she was putting you down so much like that behind my back that whole time. I'm really sorry. I should have known better to think that she had Tourette's and was just joking around.
Don't be sorry. I think that what happened to me was enough to allow me to throw it right back into her face when she was exposed like that in front of everyone. So I really don't care about all the things she said. And honestly, I don't think she's all too bad of a person deep down.
You really are too kind, April. Your older brother is really proud to have you as a sister, but I really am so sorry. You came out to my wedding and then played the piano for all my guests a lot sooner than was requested.
Please, don't be sorry. I was the one that asked to play at your wedding in the first place, so I kind of blame myself for saying yes to Maxine's offer to play sooner than I was supposed to. But still, thank you for letting me play.
Sure thing. Because of that, we were able to learn about the true person Maxine is behind the mask. Oh, right. When it came to that music producer, did you end up signing with him?
I sure did. But I also take my job of making pianos at the factory very importantly as well. So with the approval from both Dexter and Seth, I am now able to take some time off work every week to perform with the producer, and sometimes go out for live performances.
I see. You really do love pianos and everything about them, don't you? I'll be cheering you on from behind the scenes as you become famous, okay?
Thank you. So next time you find someone you're willing to get married to, please invite me out to your wedding to play for you guys. And until that time comes, I'll be practicing even more and making a name for myself. After the divorce from my brother took place, Maxine was forced to head back to her parents' house as she lost everything. She ended up leaving her part-time job, which was just her working at a grocery store during lunchtime, and she had to leave her piano with Kevin since he'd actually gotten that from her in the divorce. She was going to fight him over it, considering she had it all her life. But when Kevin said to her that he'd be doing everyone a service keeping that piano away from her, she shut up and walked out. Due to the shame she experienced at her very own wedding, she never did end up sitting down to play the piano again, and I doubt she ever will. I'm sure that her being at fault for everything that ended up destroying her in the end was very hard to live with for both her and Kevin, but I never actually thought it would end in a divorce. I kind of feel bad about that now, even though I'm aware it wasn't my fault, and that she set herself up for failure trying to get me to fail at playing in front of everyone then. I'm really not sure what will happen to her now that she's back at her parents' place without a husband, but who really cares when this is what she asked for by acting like a jealous child? One could say that my plan for revenge after the crap she'd given me was becoming famous with that producer and having that debuted at their wedding, but, well, let's just say I feel even with her now after having that chance to dig into her a little bit about all her lies and about her being at the same level of education as I am. A few weeks after the divorce, Kevin was able to find himself a new woman, and they've been doing very well together. I thought that having just gone through a divorce right after a wedding, he would have been taking things a bit slower. But he's always been a good-looking guy, so I'm sure it wasn't hard for him to get back out there and start dating again. It's been a few years now since all of that happened. I ended up meeting a man when I first started to record with the music producer, and it turned out he's from New York City. And after a while of dating him while still working and having my music produced, he proposed to me, and we'll be getting married in a couple of months now. We are both really busy, so hopefully we can get everything taken care of before I have more work to do, and the same goes for him and his schedule. Kevin is married to that new woman he'd met a while back, and I was able to play for them at their wedding, which I have to say was a lot more fun since I wasn't as anxious as I was when I played at his previous wedding. And as for myself, I've been living pretty well having already made one track with Seth, and starting later this year, I'll be doing my first tour for said track, as it ended up becoming really popular in places like Europe and Southeast Asia. When it comes to Maxine, I'm not sure where she's at now, and I have to say that for Kevin and I, we don't really feel as though she was part of our past at all. One could say she sure got what was coming for her back then, and I am so glad she did. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.